Hello guys, this is my first UFC Fight Night prediction for Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I know I'll probably have a few things to improve on in terms of setup and layout and design, but I'll make sure to improve in the future videos. And to start off, I think the fighter that is in hot waters slash stake of the night is Cameron Smotherman. He's lost two of his last three fights, and even his fight that he did win was almost 2 years ago. So if he does lose this, that'll be three losses in a row, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut. And I think the fighter of the night is Song Yadong. He did lose to Sean O'Malley in his last fight, but he did have some moments where he was looking very good. I thought he did very well in the first round, and then he started getting pieced up. But I think he's like the best skilled fighter on this card by far, and has a chance at getting the title. I know it's going to be tough with how stacked the division is, but he has a legit chance to win a title, unlike everyone else on this card. The fight of the night, I think, is going to be Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo. It's number 5, Song Yadong versus number 7, Deiveson Figueiredo. It's going to be interesting to see how the striking exchanges go. I think Song Yadong has his advantage there, but we will get into that more later in the video. First fight of the night is Alex Perez versus Sumadarji. I think in this fight, I think Alex Perez will win by decision. He doesn't really have the one-shot knockout power. He does have very good submissions. Does have a few submissions, and Sumadarji has been submitted a couple times in his UFC career by Matt Schnell. And during the Matt Schnell fight, Sumadarji actually got clipped a few times by Schnell, and Schnell is not a great striker. Not that Perez is like an elite striker, but I think his technique is a lot more clean, and I think he can use that to his advantage in the striking. Sumadarji probably has the power, but Alex Perez has the cleaner technique. And the next fight of the night is Jake Matthews and Carlston Harris. Jake Matthews is a 3-1 favorite, almost 4-1, and I can totally see why. Jake Matthews has fought Michael Morales, and now he's a top tier welterweight. He did lose by decision, which I think is crazy for how hard Michael Morales hits, because that guy walks around at like 220. And Carlston Harris has been knocked out in his last two fights against Santiago Ponzinibbio and Kalen Williams. And Santiago Ponzinibbio is like a dinosaur now. He's not nearly close to what his prime used to be. And I feel like getting knocked out by someone like that is a bad recipe for going against someone like Jake Matthews, who sure does not have the knockout power, but has very good technique, very good submissions, especially against Chidi Njokuani. Njokuani does hit extremely hard, and Jake Matthews was able to submit him easily in round 1. And I could totally see that happening in this fight as well. So I'm going to go Jake Matthews round 1 submission. The next fight of the night is Kai Asakura versus Cameron Smotherman. Cameron Smotherman has lost his last two fights, and he has 0 takedown attempts that are successful in all of his UFC career. And that is perfect for someone like Kai Asakura, because sure, he did fight Pantoja, and he did get dominated. But at least with this fight, it'll be a striking battle, most likely. And Kai is way more better in the technique department. He's way better at setting things up, feinting, and he has more power, I think. And the other thing, in the Smotherman versus Side fight, sorry if I'm butchering Side's name, by the way, Smotherman did take a good amount of leg kicks, and I feel like against someone like Kai Asakura, who does have good leg kicks, especially when he doesn't have to worry about the takedown, I feel like that'll be a big factor in this fight, since Smotherman's calf-kicking defense is not the best. Smotherman is also more plotty, and I feel like Kai has way better footwork, so I think he'll be able to get better angles and better shot openings and get better shots on Smotherman. So I'm going to go Kai Asakura by round 3 knockout. And in the heavyweight division, we have Sergey Pavlovich versus Talashin Teixeira. Sergey Pavlovich is a 6-1 favorite, and I can totally see why. Talashin Teixeira almost absorbs 4 strikes a minute, and especially against a guy like Sergey, he hits so incredibly hard. At
This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't fucking move.
one point, I think he was one of the most scary guys in the division until the Tom Aspinall fight, but he still has really good technique, Pavlovich, very good jab, and his right hand is like a nuclear missile. And if Talashin is getting knocked out by Derek Lewis, I can see Sergey doing the exact same thing in round 1, the same as Derek Lewis, but even quicker and more emphatic. So I'm going to go round 1, Sergey Pavlovich knockout. And in the light heavyweight division, we have Zhang Mingyang versus Alonzo Menifield. Zhang is a 2-1 favorite, almost 3-1 favorite versus Alonzo Menifield, and I can kind of see why. Zhang has very good technique overall. I know he did lose to Johnny Walker, but I think Johnny Walker is a better fighter offensively overall than Menifield. Now, he doesn't have a good chin, but I think he has way better offensive weapons compared to Alonzo Menifield, and I feel like Zhang isn't going to have to worry about nearly as many weapons that Menifield has. He has very good power, but I feel like his technique, Menifield's, is not very good overall. Menifield doesn't do a very good job checking leg kicks, I feel like, overall. And Zhang has very good calf kicks. Like, if you watch the Anthony Smith fight, he was just chewing his leg to smithereens. And I can see him totally doing that to Menifield. And if he does, the Menifield's power is going to be way less and negated, so I don't think it'll be as much of a threat to Zhang. And if it goes to the clinch, I think Zhang is going to tear Alonzo apart, if I'm honest, because his knees are nasty in the clinch, especially in the Smith fight, and that will chip away at Alonzo's gas tank. Not that he has crazy bad cardio, but it's definitely not nearly as good as Zhang. And I can see him just having better grappling technique in the clinch than Menifield. Menifield also doesn't have great head movement, and with how good Zhang's boxing is, his jab is good. He's really good at feinting and setting things up in close boxing exchanges and even at range, and I don't think that's going to bode well for Alonzo, so I'm going to go round 2 knockout Zhang. And for our main event of the evening, we got Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Song Yadong is a 6-1 favorite, and I can totally see why. I think the one big thing is going to be the speed advantage. Davidson's 38, and Song Yadong is in his prime right now, and I think that's going to be a huge factor, especially in the striking. Davidson's striking is not bad, but Song Yadong has gone against Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley and has had some really good moments against them, and I don't think Deiveson will be able to handle that speed. Like, Song Yadong has very good technique. Sure, Yan was able to pick him apart near the end, but Yan has some of the best reads in the game. It's always the first round. He doesn't do the best, but as the rounds go on, he learns your technique. And I don't think Davidson's going to be able to do that against Song Yadong. And Figueiredo has a very bladed stance, and I think that's going to be bad against someone like Yadong, who has very fast leg kicks. And I could see him totally tearing apart Figueiredo's calf. Now, Figueiredo does have some pretty solid kicks, but I feel like at his age now, I feel like the speed difference, I feel like Yadong is going to be able to deal with it fairly easily. Now, Figueiredo, I would say, probably is the better jiu-jitsu. The only thing that worries me is if he starts trying to go for leg locks similar to the Sandhagen fight. And if he tries to do that against Yadong, I think Yadong is going to punish him with hellish ground and pound. But I would say Song Yadong has better wrestling, but I honestly don't think Song Yadong is going to have to resort to wrestling in order to win this fight. I think he can easily win this fight standing. I'm just very worried for Figueiredo if Yadong and him get into these close-knit boxing exchanges in the phone booth, because I feel like if they do, I could honestly see Yadong knocking out Figueiredo, and that's what I'm going to go with for my prediction. I'm going to go Song Yadong round 3 TKO. This is my first prediction video, so if you guys do have any advice, please let me know down in the comments on how I could improve things. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.